Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to assemble an office desk that we purchased from Office Depot. This is an L desk with a hutch from the Dejori collection. Please stay tuned and continue watching until the end because we're going to be showing you the entire detailed process of how we were able to assemble all of this beautiful office desk that is modern, and I'm going to be showing you everything here shortly. If you want to learn how to do all kinds of DIY projects and home renovations, including how to assemble things like this, then you're in the best place here on YouTube, since that's all we do here at Frank's Handyman Service. Consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and activate the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any future videos that we're going to be uploading. The nice thing about all of this is we're going to be using basic hand tools. This is the box that everything came in. It's the Dejori L desk with hutch from Real Space that we purchased at Office Depot. Now this box was very heavy, and I'm going to be putting it in the second floor of my house. So I just uploaded everything little by little, and I just kind of spread it around like you see right here, so I can start organizing everything. And this is going to help you so it'll be easier. And the very first step, it looks very intimidating, but if you read it carefully and if you take your time, you just gotta organize everything. Like, we're gonna be using this C1, C, and E. I organized all of the hardware in phases. So from step 1, the nice thing is it comes labeled and everything, so it'll help you to organize everything. But I put everything in sequence right here, and as I need it, I'm gonna get it from there. Now, the very first step, it has you put in these little wooden wedges in there. Before you do that, it has you put in some wood glue. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm putting the wood glue in the hole first, and then I'm putting in those wedges. I recommend for you to have a hammer. That way you can press them in easier, and it's just going to help you a lot. So after that, it has you put in these screws that go in there. That's going to help us to connect it to the other pieces in the next step, but it's pretty straightforward. You just screw it in with a screwdriver. And then it also has you put in these railings for the drawers. Now these railings you have to disconnect like the other piece that goes on the drawer. So they show you that in the beginning of the instructions, but you just basically pull it out and then you can use these railings. You just want to be careful that you put them, because this one, it has L or 11A and 10A. So you just got to put them how it shows on the instructions. Then in the next step, right now I'm doing number 2. I'm going to be connecting the C1, the E, and the C. So this is basically forming the right side cabinet, like the filing cabinet and the drawer. So this is pretty straightforward. You just put them together, and then you put in those little round screws. I put the back cover, and then I put in this bottom piece, and it's just 4 screws. Actually, it's 6 screws on either side, and that connects everything. And then, so that's basically step number 2. Then step number 3, it's going to have us put the counter on top. So this recommends 2 adults, but honestly, most of these steps I was able to do it myself. So I didn't have anybody handy, so I was able to do this. But you see how I have these pieces here? I put them there, I organize them, and then I always have the instructions there so I can follow it as I go. And it basically just has you put in all of these screws in the designated areas, and then it even tells you what to do, like turn it over, and then on the other side it's gonna have you put in some like 5 additional ones. And then on this narrower piece, it has you attach it with some round hardwares that you put in the hole, and then from there you can put in this upper piece, which is going to be the counter. So I'm just carefully putting it in there, and then the next step, it's going to have you put in the other leg support, which is like a metal, it's like a metal piece that you see right here. So I'm going to get the N, the M, the L, the O, all of those. I got to attach them together. So that way it's going to create the leg that's going to support the counter with the filing cabinet. And it's pretty straightforward. You just put them in there, and then it has the holes already set up. So you just put the screws, and then you just tighten them with a screwdriver. Now, I wouldn't recommend using a powered screwdriver, like a power tool for this, because this is like particle board. So if you do it a little bit too much, it's gonna damage the material. So I would just do it this way. Just take your time and make sure you don't over tighten anything. Also, on this step number 4, it has you put in the base here on the bottom of the filing cabinet. It just 4 screws. Once you do that, then you can flip it over, and then you have the first major section right there. So then from there, we're gonna jump onto step number 5. Now with this, we're gonna start creating one of the drawers. So it has all the pieces, H, H1, H, I, and J. And I'm just gonna take it one step at a time. It also has you put those railings right there on either side of H and H1. And then it has you put in the little wood pieces on the ends, which is gonna help to attach them one with the other. But that's all I'm doing. I'm basically just following the process as I'm going. I'm just getting the little packets there that's needed. Like for step number 6, it wants me to attach all of those sections that I just prepared, and we do that by those little round hardware that you put in the holes. And I also had a hammer handy for this. If you put in those round hardwares in the holes, then if you pound it in there with the hammer, then it's gonna make sure that it secures it in place. This is the upper portion. It's like the counter of the L portion of the desk. And the nice thing, it has a wireless charging. So I'm almost halfway through. We're gonna jump here to number 7. This is gonna have me install the counter portion of the left side on top of the drawer assembly. And this one, you just put it right into the holes, and then on all of the sides it has a round hole in there where you put in the hardware, and from there you just tighten it with the L wrench until it's nice and snug. Now you want to be careful. You don't want to like super tighten anything of this, because since it's not like real wood or anything, you just don't want to damage it. And then it also has you put in this bracket. This is what's gonna attach this L part to the cabinet unit. So this was pretty hard. You know, those screws were not easy to put in, but I was able to get it in there. And then from there you put in the support portion, and this just has 4 screws. They're like longer ones. So you just put them in there, you tighten them with that L wrench, and that's pretty much step number 7. Then the next one, we're gonna go ahead and attach it to the main cabinet unit. Now it gives you a warning there at the bottom. It says 2 adults are recommended for this step. I did it by myself. Most of this, like I said, I did it all myself. The only one that I had my wife help me was when I built the hutch. Then I had her help me just put it on top, because that one was quite heavy. But this was one of the more challenging parts that I'm doing right here. I had to kind of hold it myself with one hand and just screw them in there so that way it stays in place, but I was able to get it. And then right here it has 2 long screws that go on the end. From there, we're going to jump onto step number 9. This is going to have us start building the hutch that's at the top. This hutch has additional storage. It's going to have like 2 drawers, and it just makes the unit look a lot more spacious and useful. So I always start off by spreading out all of the parts that I'm going to be using, which is U, UI, W, X, W1, and V. And this one, it's mostly putting in those wooden pieces on the ends. And typically for those, it wants you to put glue in the hole first, and then after that you can pound those wooden things. Now I try to do this in most of the parts, but in some of them I didn't do it, but I did do it in most of it. Step number 10, now we're going to start assembling all those parts that we just prepared. I'm going to start off with the top where the V, which is this long board, and attach the 2 W's, W1 and W. And this is just 2 screws on either side. And then we're going to do the U, which is the end piece, and then the long strip, which is the X. And one thing that I missed on this step is I started putting this other end piece over here, but I actually needed to put the backing first. And so I got a little too excited and ahead of myself, and I just started putting it all together like this, but then I realized that, I need to put in the backing, so I had to remove it and then put the backing in there, make sure it fits into the slot in all 4 sides. And once I got it ready there, then I put in this other piece, and then I was able to tighten everything. And that will happen, sometimes throughout the process, but as long as you catch it, you can go ahead and just continue. This is step number 11. It wants us to put the top portion on the hutch. So this is labeled T, and it basically just has us put all these screws in here. This is where it's gonna attach in the holes, and then there's like these 2 little magnet pieces that go in there. That's where the doors will stop. Then it wants us to put the backing, and then after that, I'm putting glue in the holes there where all of the where it's gonna go in there in the slots. And once you put it in there, then you can put in the round hardware that goes on all of the sides right here, and I pound that in there with the hammer. Once I do that, then I go ahead and tighten it with the L wrench until it's nice and snug. And now you're gonna have a nice, strong, and beautiful hutch that you can place on top. Step number 12, it wants us to put the drawers. The drawers, it just has the 2 hinges and then the handle that goes on each one. So those hinges are very easy. You just put them in the slot, and then it has 2 screws. The nice thing about this unit is all of the holes are pre-drilled, so you just basically screw them into there, and it's pretty easy to do that. So once you put those in there, then I'm putting in the handle right there, and we're gonna be able to put it into those holes. It aligns up perfectly, and then you can there's 2 screws on either hinge, and that will attach it to the unit. And from there, it also has a couple of extra screws on there that you can loosen or tighten, and that will help you to adjust the door. You can pull the drawer or move it up or down. You can adjust it. So that's what I really liked about this, is just in case if you need to adjust the door a little bit so it closes the gap or whatever, it has those 2 additional screws there that you can either tighten or loosen, and you can adjust it to whatever you need. And that's mentioned there on the instructions. So then the next step, 13, this is the one where I definitely recommend for you to get somebody to help you, because this hutch is quite heavy. You just got to bring it in there and then tighten it onto there. And from there, we're going to jump onto 14, which is assembling the cabinet, the filing cabinet drawer. And with this one right here, it just has you put in quite a bit of those screws into there. It has you put in the railings, which is the 11B, and it also wants you to put in the backing, or the bottom, portion, and basically assemble the whole drawer. And then number 15, same thing. This is the final step. So congratulations if you were able to make it until this part. There's a total of 15 steps to all of this, and this is the final one right here. So we're gonna be building both of the drawers, the one that goes right above the filing cabinet, which is this smaller one, and then also the longer one that goes on the other side where the monitors will go. And so once you do that, you're gonna be fully complete, and then you just put it into the railings carefully, and you just make sure that it opens and closes as smooth as possible. And that's pretty much how you assemble the entire unit. We hope you liked this video. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and activate the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any future videos that we're going to be uploading. Now here I'm just going to demonstrate how everything works. You have those two upper drawers there for additional storage. You have this little drawer right here, and then you have the filing cabinet as well, and then you have this other nice long drawer for additional storage. But overall, I was quite happy. I love the unit, how it looks more modern. It's just different than what everything else is, and it has the wireless charging. And these are the basic hand tools that we used. Anybody can do this. All you need is a little bit of patience, dedication, and the time, and you can definitely have these professional results like we obtained today. So may God bless you, and we'll see you on the next video.